Welcome back to the Random Shit Talk podcast. I'm Myric,
And I'm Eric.
and this is the Random Shit Talk podcast. So let's get into this. It's been a while. We've been in
Been a
Miami.
minute. Yeah.
So,
Well, full disclosure, I had COVID. Then we had Thanksgiving. I just had too much shit going on.
yep, and we're grown-ups, so life happens. So the first thing I was going to bring up was going to be the meme I sent you this morning. I've been ready to fire that one for a long time, the massage.
Oh, Jesus. You sent me one that was similar to that like a couple months ago.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm not letting my girl get a massage like that. But
not like that. Fuck no. There's also, have you seen these parties now, like these bars that women go to where the guys basically manhandle them? They don't have sex, but like they use a banana, they put it by their piece, and the girls pretend to blow them, and then they grab their hair, they pull their hair and stuff. This is like bars and shit.
Really?
Like they pay for it. Yeah, they pay the bartender to do this to them.
That's crazy.
I'm like, are women really that hard up? Like, are they just needing to get laid that bad?
I don't know. I think that a lot of it's attention, and they want to be. I don't know how you would describe that, because it doesn't make sense to me when you can have that done for free. But
100%. All you gotta do is go to the bar and point and say, "I want you." If you're good looking, I mean, even if you're not, like we talked about before, even if you're not that good looking, you can still get laid as a girl.
So, other question about the same topic. I don't know what that massage is called.
So the man one I know is called the Nuru, Nuru. That, I mean, it's in porn too, but it's actually a real massage where they rub bodies against each other and use oil and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what, I'm guessing it's the same name for the other way. Like, I don't know if it's, but it's, yeah, I mean, the one that I should send you is the tabletop shower massage. The girl's on you, and she's basically as a shower head, and she's showering her and you and rubbing you at the same time.
That's crazy.
That's more your speed. That's more like, all right, yeah, we can do that.
So, but my thing is, it's like the one that I sent you. I wish we could just. I might go get a still shot, put it in here, but
and she's not ugly either.
No, but it was just like there were so many of them. I was like, what?
Here's my question: have you seen any of those clips where the woman's actually not attractive?
Yes.
Okay, because if I was gonna say if not, I would think it's fake.
It's just because like. Oh, it's so weird. I just want to know what the name of it is. We got to figure out what the name of it is.
That'd be the name of this episode.
Yep, that'd be a great name for the episode.
Yeah.
So then on to serious topics, since this is the last day, which this will be out afterwards. It'll be out in December, but this is the last day for Men's Mental Health Month of November. So to you were like, it's a joke, or you take it as a joke, or
like, I understand the new world we live in, that we're supposed to be like feelings and let's talk about them, but like, there's not many. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus or any guys that I know under the bus. There's not many me's out there. Like, I don't take any happy pills. I don't take anything to get out of the day. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I have no addiction. Like, I'm pure white knuckling it to the end.
Yeah.
So for me, mental health is just like, it's a deal with it. It's just a fucking day or whatever it is. I know that's terrible, and I know that it can come back to bite me in the ass, but it's kind of like, why can't we just stuff it and move on?
I think it's because when you do that, I feel like it blows up later on. Now,
and maybe it will. Maybe I'll finally be able to take a life and really enjoy myself, but we'll get to that point.
The brakes went out.
Like, and as much as we joke about it,
yeah.
How much mental health for men is attached to their women? Like, it's got to be a pretty prominent part.
No, I don't think so.
Like, I would say I have a pretty easy job. I have pretty easy kids. I have a good nut in the bank. My only stress in my life truly comes from my wife. And granted, I created that. Like, I understand that I did that. But when she's on, like when she's ready to basically ruin my fucking life for the day, like that's the only mental health. When she's great and wonderful, then I'm fine.
I don't know. For me, I feel like your spouse and everything else is extra. Like, you can't control that. For me, I can't control anything outside of myself. But my mental health comes from. So I wouldn't even say like going to therapy. I go to therapy for mental health, but that's for war trauma and stuff like that.
Hold.
All right.
So you do go to therapy and you believe in therapy, but you don't believe in marriage therapy.
No. Here's the thing. I don't believe in marriage therapy as in for the fact of if we've already decided to split up, like my mind's made up.
Yes.
We're going on separate. Now,
yes.
I think...
What about maintenance therapy? Like even a brain, like you're into marriage for a year and you're like, okay, we need to see someone once every 6 months just to make sure we're communicating well and there's no resentment and all that bullshit.
See, I don't think that. I think once again, you have to have confidence in the therapist to talk to them and have them mediate. But I feel like for me, in my relationship, we should be able to talk. Now, I have a feeling that when you bring in a third party, you're not going to say anything in front of that third party to make yourself look bad. Now, you might say things.
Some of us can't follow that.
and that's what I'm saying. I feel like I wouldn't get everything from my partner in that instance. Like, they're going to hold on to, like, if they're mad about something, they're not going to say it because they're like, oh, well, this therapist is going to be like, you're selfish. So they're not.
They don't want to look bad to a third party. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I think that's when maybe I'm just such an analytic brain that when we're having problems or we're having a fight, I make a mental note of it. And then when we go to marriage counseling, that's when we bring it up. I don't fight about it then. I wait. When we go to marriage counseling, I go, okay, why the fuck did you do this? Okay. So there's no running and hiding.
Now, I say when it comes to grief, you should go to a therapist. Like,
and we're opposite on that one. We're opposite on that one.
But I feel like you should go to a therapist in that case when you can't communicate with other people why you're not how because you're not going to be able to be like how should I feel? You're not going to be able to do that.
Correct. It's what are you feeling?
Yeah. So, but my thing is, I don't care for a therapist. Period. Like, even whenever I go to my VA stuff, like we have our one-on-one appointments, but we have our group therapy where it's not really therapy. You have a bunch of other vets who've been through the same similar things and who have had buddies who have committed suicide and are on the same wavelength as you, and you joke and we talk just like me and you do.
Yeah.
But the only difference is for them, it's kind of like they don't know me, but they know that they've been through the same similar things. Whereas you know me, so for you, it's going to be like personal. For them, it's not personal at all, but at the same time, they have empathy because they're going through the same thing.
So that's a good point. I actually think I get more mental health recalibrating or whatever you want to call talking to you or talking to Carl, okay, whatever. And I get more out of that. Because normally you guys are like, hey, you're being a little ridiculous here, or hey, everything's good, calm down. I don't get a lot out of like going to see a therapist, especially therapists that have no real world experience.
Yeah.
Or my experience, I should say. Yeah. Like, for instance, I would never expect you to come to me and for me to be able to empathize what it's like to be a vet. I have no fucking idea. I like to think I do because I helped them and I did work for that, but I don't know.
But that's the thing, like, I don't think you technically have to be a vet because I know so many people who have lost somebody to suicide or something like that, and they can have conversations about like, hey, and it's not even really about how do you deal with it or anything that has to do with it. It could just be like, oh man, I get in my dark moods where I'm like, I don't want to do Thanksgiving. I don't want to be around a bunch of people, and I don't want to. And then I start telling my dead baby jokes, and then all of a sudden everybody gets angry. You should be able to laugh about it, but okay.
Everybody hates that fucking song.
So it's kind of like Pete Davis.
Yeah,
So,
but we talked about this before. You and I are in agreement that we both deal with grief with joking.
yeah,
Like we make fun of whatever it is.
yeah. And
Because
so,
I honestly think the best way to process something is two ways. Either A, teach it, or B, joke about it.
yeah,
I think you learn more being a teacher than a student.
yeah, I think so too. I would have disagreed, but you learn a lot more when you're having to
Teach someone else.
teach something. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh,
And I think the same thing goes with grief. I think when you're joking about it, it's your way to kind of get it off your chest without looking like a pansy.
yeah. So circle back around to the topic of men's health. I don't think that whenever I think men's mental health, like, which I've never done this before or thought about it, but I think about it now and I'm like, all right, so do something for yourself, like to better yourself. So it has nothing to do with anyone else or anything like that. So
I'm the worst about that.
yeah. So for instance, with the stomach issue, like this month was a big deal on making sure I took my medication on time every day. So I'm not sitting there like, oh man, so that was like, I think mental health for men is like, hey, take care of yourself too. Like,
Yeah,
you're
I'm not gonna, and that's something I struggle with, especially because I mean, you know this. Our household has kind of reverse roles, where I'm more of the I don't want to say mom, but I'm more of that person. I'm the one that kids go to, and I kind of handle everything. So I do struggle with that. Like I should probably go lift, and I probably should take a vacation by myself or do something. But yeah, I got too much shit to do.
Yeah, and I think like right now we just have a lot going on.
Like, why do we have so many kids?
Speaking of kids, man, aren't you glad you don't have to get diapers and wipes and change? This little heathen, I tell you what, I'm ready for the diaper stage to be over.
I'll miss that.
The one thing I thought about today was Click, the movie Click. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to wish anything.
It's true.
So
yeah, it's true. It's totally true. Like even with my it's the most with my middle son because he's turned into such an asshole. I shouldn't say that. He's a good kid. He's just such a pain. He makes you work for everything.
Yeah.
So it's nice to think about when he was, 4 or 5 years old and sweet and, and it's like he's 13 now and it's like, okay, I want to put your head through a wall. I can't, but and what's sad is, and I'm sure you'll laugh at this, it's not like he's doing anything wrong. He just knows what buttons to push.
Yeah. And he's trying to see what he can get away with. It's
correct. So like the other day we're driving the car and he turns to me and goes, I am him. And I go, what the fuck does that mean? And he goes, I am him. And I go, you're going to get hemmed right up the ass. What are you talking about?
So you figured it out though, right?
No, I still don't know what that means.
Okay, I got you on this one. So whenever, you remember how you would say, I'm the man? That is this generation's is I'm him.
Oh my God.
So whenever they say, like, if they do something great, like,
but that's the thing. He wasn't doing anything.
That's what he was saying. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm him. So,
and his new favorite line, like I understand that David Goggins is a great person and he's done great things.
Yeah.
But my 13-year-old son's favorite line is, someone's got to carry the boats. And he doesn't know what it means. The worst part is he says it about topics that has nothing to do with it. I'm trying to explain to him, buddy, that means you have to be the one that picks up the slack. You got to take... I got to carry the boats when you're talking about putting on new clothes. Has nothing to do with it. And I'm like, I want to put your head through a fucking wall.
You got Cat Williams.
Yeah.
Neck down.
Fucking hell. I am him. And yeah, he is my hardest child. He is.
But it's so great. Like, just knowing him makes it so great because he was so quiet and so...
Oh my God. He's on the basketball team now. And in the driveway, he's actually a pretty good player, but he gets so nervous. Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever seen do you remember the kids that would run, but they wouldn't pick their feet up like more than an inch off the ground?
Yeah.
So they would like kind of, that's what he does on the court. And I'm like, what the hell? And then as a punishment, he had really long hair. And he accidentally hit a volleyball into a teacher's face.
Yeah.
and he got punished. Well, as a punishment, I shaved his head because he
Oh,
loved his hair. So now with him running like that, I yelled out. I got in so much trouble, but I yelled out. I said, "Hey, stop looking like you're from St. Jude's. Pick up your feet." I'm like, "Come on, dude." And he stops in the court and he goes, and I'm like, "I'm gonna kill you. I'm just gonna kill you."
So I think you gotta understand. When's the last time you played hockey?
Me?
No, him.
Oh, years ago. He hasn't played hockey forever.
Really? All right.
The youngest is the hockey player. The middle one has no interest.
Okay. So I was gonna say maybe that's why he's running with his feet so low.
Oh no, because it's the opposite of hockey. You got to pick them up even more. You got to almost stomp when you skate.
When you're digging,
Going,
but
yeah.
as you're
Gliding, yeah. No, he. I don't know what that is. I honestly think it's his nerves because I've never seen him because he plays baseball and he's a good baseball player.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've never seen him do that. I think it's because in baseball, for some reason, he doesn't feel like the focus is on him. Even when he's batting, he doesn't.
Yeah, because there's so many.
Yeah, but as basketball, you have the ball in your hands. You're not looking at anyone else. You're looking at the guy.
Everybody's watching the ball. So
yeah. So I think that's what it is. He just gets nervous. He's turned into actually a pretty decent catcher if he could just get his attitude. Like last year, he walked off the field in the middle of a play. He just walked off, said, "I'm done." Yeah, I wasn't there. Let's be very clear. I was not at the fucking Diamond because we both know what I would have did if I was at the Diamond. Yeah. That was Mom at the Diamond, and all she did was scream at him. I'm like, no. I would have killed him.
So we've been running polls during the game.
Oh, my God. I remember when he was first decided, okay, I want to be catcher, and I was like, okay, well, then let me throw a few at you and just see how you do. I don't have a great arm, but I'm okay. And I made him. I mean, we both know how Southerners train their kids compared to Northerners, but the Northerners couldn't believe what I was doing. I was making him put his hands behind the back and just take the pitch in his chest protector, just so he felt it, just so he knew, okay, I'm okay.
You're okay, yeah.
You're okay. And they were looking at me like I was beating him. I'm like, he has to know that he's okay. Yeah. That if the ball doesn't go right, because it doesn't go right a lot, he's okay.
It's going to hit you. You're going to have bruises. You'll be all right.
You'll be fine.
So...
Sorry, that was kind of a tangent. Fucking.
No, that was good. There was one more that I had.
Back to mental health with men, though. Would you agree or disagree that, as a whole, not you specifically, but as a whole, when it comes to men's mental health, it's more external than it is internal?
I think it's internal.
Really?
Yeah, but because to me, I think my mental health is just me. Like, it has nothing to do with anyone else. It has to be an internal, like, what
but you like you. But my point is that you like you. If you were left alone for a week, you and yourself would be fine. You'd be like, that's fine. I'm good. Like, I'm good. Now you factor in all the other shit. That's what makes us go fucking nuts.
But at the same time, like, am I doing something today that's productive for myself? That's my mental health. Like, everything else.
Oh, we're so different.
Everything
else
is
so different.
And I mean, that's the good thing. Everything else is external. Like, I can't control, and I think I learned that from my first marriage. I can't control anything outside here. So you do you, and I'm gonna do me. Like, what can I do to make myself happy today? What can I do? And it used to be drinking, smoking, and doing all like that's what it was. Like, I had to have my Black and Milds, and I had to have my tequila, and but that was going to make me.
Now this is where we come back to: is it a culture thing? I truly believe, in my heart of hearts, if your first wife did what she has done and did, how do I put this without sounding like an asshole? A non-strong woman man. So, like, you were raised by a strong woman.
Yeah.
You're used to a strong woman. Whereas I was raised more as by a patriarchy with a strong man, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
I think if she would have did that to all the shit she pulled to a man that's used to the man runs the house and the woman does, I think she'd have been killed. I honestly think that.
But see, I think that's the same thing. If she had done that to somebody who didn't go through and I wouldn't just say go to the military, because majority of the time when it happens to somebody in the military, they're getting axed. But somebody who went to the military and then went to war.
Yeah.
So when you came back from war, I'm just like, you know what? It's really not that big of an issue.
Why do you? Why do you think? I know this is off topic. Why? I mean, you and I have had our experiences. I've dealt with so many vets, and obviously your situation, and
Yeah.
you're the vets. You know, why do you think divorce rates are so high with military members or former military members? Do you think it's because loneliness? Do you think it's separation? Do you just think that people are
For
selfish?
a little bit of all of it, if you think about it. Like, well, not even that. Like, when it comes to like a combat vet or somebody who's been deployed or somebody who's off for a long period of time, you grow as people. You
Mm-hmm.
grow apart because you have different views on things now, because you've seen different things, you've had different walks of life, and you really haven't communicated with each other enough to see the other person's opinion on, hey, maybe y'all got a new president, new political views, new, and you're growing up too, you're getting older. So like stuff that was okay for me, like whenever I got in trouble at home as a kid, my grandpa or my mom wore me out. Like that was just part of it. And before I left, that was kind of I mean, you're looking at them as one and two, so you're not really spanking them like that.
No,
And
yeah,
then,
but you're
and, and then when
correcting behavior.
yeah, so when I came home and they're like 4 or 5 and they'd get in trouble for something, and I'm like, you're not supposed to be doing that. Go get my belt. What? You're not spanking them? And I'm like, we talked about how when we were kids we got spanked. I'm not raising my kid like that. Spoil the rod, spare the rod,
Yeah,
spoil the child.
yeah.
I was like, yeah. So, what are you talking about? You
Now,
said
would
that's
you agree the ones that do make it, military members and their spouses, the ones that the marriages that do last, they're normally like really good marriages?
no. I feel like those are very hidden.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah,
real problems under the scenes?
real
Do you
problems
think it's
that,
possible to have a healthy relationship in the military, like a marriage?
depending on what your rank is, yeah,
Okay, so if you have more pull,
you got more pull. You're on the phone more. You, on top of that, what I don't know, because even then I've seen the same thing happen with that.
why
So
don't you think contract wives are more of a thing?
contract wives, uh,
Because if I was, I'm not lying to you, had I gone to the military, I probably would have did a contract wife.
but why would you even get a wife at all
You get all the
if you,
perks.
if you get a contract? Well, I mean,
You get all the perks. It's basically a mail order. That's what it is. You
yeah,
have it in writing of what your response, like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
But I just feel like you get all the perks in the military as far as not having to live on base and I mean, you live on base, but not in a barracks, and you actually get a housing stipend and you get all that shit. At least that's how it used to be.
oh,
I'm
okay,
sure
okay,
nowadays
okay. I get what you're saying. So, but what if the contract's broken?
contract's always broken, but at least you know going into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're protected going into it. You're not going into it like I really love this person. You're going into it like I'm marrying this person to get all the shit, and maybe we fuck every once in a while, and
yeah.
that's it.
But then, let's say you do the mail order bride, do the contract, everything's written down in contract. You get everything you're supposed to get. You go off, and your mail order bride's sleeping with so and so. You don't care, right? So now
No,
let's say opposite shoe, you're sleeping with so and so. Now your mail order bride's get angry. Like even though it's just a contract and we've wrote this out, now she's mad. Well, I'm gonna do something to get him in trouble, or I'm gonna.
that's fair.
That's where I'm
That's
like,
fair.
you can't,
I don't know
you
why they
can't.
would though, because it would fuck up. Because part of the mail order is they're doing this to get a green card, so they have to stay married
True,
for a certain
but
amount of time. I think it's 2 years, or I don't
but
know what it is.
when Jody's blowing that back out and he's promising marriage too,
Go for it. I'd be like,
she's
go
like,
for it.
I know you would, but she's gonna be like, I'm out, and I'm blowing up your whole
Yeah, maybe.
space.
You're probably right. You probably it's not that clean and cut. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure hindsight's 2020. I'm sure you would say if you go in the military, don't you dare get in a relationship. I'm sure you would tell anyone that.
Yeah, I would. One, I would be like, don't go to the military. They're not, nuh-uh. And it's nothing to do against the military. I loved my time in, and I'd have stayed in until forever. But I'm just like the way society is now.
Yeah,
Don't do
it's
it.
not the same military.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
You
And
want to
on top
dress
of
up
that,
as a drag? You want to dress up as drag and recruit there, big guy? You look
see,
good, drag.
but
You'd
here's
be
the
a good
problem.
drag guy.
Here's the problem. they're not going to, because I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and be like, hey, you're going to get a Dodge Charger, you're going to have a house, your debt's going to be paid
Remember
off.
those? Remember those pitches?
Yeah, and your debt's going to be paid off. You're going to have money. You won't be living paycheck to paycheck. Bullshit. We'll pay for you to go to college. Bullshit.
You got to jump to 1,000 hoops to get anything you want.
Yep.
Even the shit that is due to you. You know, I know someone. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, granted, it's been a long time since I've done this shit. Isn't it true that if you serve active duty, you're automatically 50%?
No. So the way it works is you're automatically entitled to 100% of your VA compensation if you serve more than 90 days active duty.
That doesn't mean shit.
No, it does. But if you don't keep the paperwork from every time you had to go to the hospital, let's say at basic training, you, for instance, with my wrist, at basic training, fractured my wrist, but didn't want to be recycled and start over, so just didn't say nothing, wrapped it, and went on about my way. Well, now if I want to put a claim in for it and be like, hey, I hurt this at basic, they're like, hey, where's the paperwork? We're not giving you anything unless you
gotta document it. Yeah, you're not wrong. I do remember that, filling out all that fucking paper. I got a friend of mine who is getting less than people that got washed out in basic.
Oh yeah, I got somebody who never did anything, sitting at 100%, never left the United States, sitting at 100% for PTSD, but yet people who've done multiple deployments are like, I don't know. They're telling me I don't have any paperwork, and I'm like,
this doesn't make yeah. You wonder why the suicide fucking rates are through the roof.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's bring it back to a more positive topic, I guess. We went mental health, and then we went VA, which we both know is an awful situation. If there's nothing,
There's no fixing it.
Do you think Big Mike is real?
Mm-mm.
You think it's all fake?
Yeah, I think it's all fake.
I don't know, man. I'm seeing some arguments where I'm like, there's only one picture of her pregnant. She doesn't look any different. The best friend is nowhere to be found. Like, the best friend hasn't even come up and said nothing. We've never heard from the best friend.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, huh. Okay, let me ask you this. Drowning or murder?
Which person?
The chef. The elite swimmer. Let's be very clear. The man who can swim.
Drowning.
Oh, you think he actually drowned?
No, I think it could be murder, but just when you're an elite swimmer doesn't make you not. Majority of elite swimmers drown.
That's fair. Because they push the limits. That's fair.
Yeah. Because I think, I can do this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What else is a funny topic? The Big Mike one always has me rolling.
Yeah.
Because the fact that it's our former first lady and you're trying to look for a dick on her, that's fantastic. Like a bulge anywhere. I'm sorry, that's funny. I don't care what anybody says.
I think we, as, like, I find politics as a joke now.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
It's not even funny anymore. Joke. Like, at first it used to be like, I can't believe people are getting irate about this. Now it's like,
this is our country?
This is our country. Y'all can't be serious, right?
Although it isn't like it's much better other places. Like, I was trying to explain to my wife and daughter, like, Europe's not in the greatest shape either.
Yeah, a lot of those places are not in great shape at all, but we have the same, because at the end of the day, you're going to have the same problems. People who have money are going to be greedy and they want more money, even if it's stuff that they'll never spend in their lifetime. And the best way to do that legally is to buy the politicians and have them make laws that you like.
So here's a question that I know you're going to love because I know your conspiracy brain. The politicians and all the, the Bezos and the Zuckerbergs and the people of real money and real power that we don't even know about, cloning or no cloning?
I think cloning, but not like we think.
So you think like cloning like parts?
Yeah. I think like for anything, like for them especially, like they probably have labs and they've cloned, and not really even cloned really. I guess it is, but
you're kind of growing. I mean, you're growing. Yeah, you're Yeah.
They figured out a way to speed up the process so that way that clone is at the same age as them, if not a little bit younger. So that way, I need
There was a
new
movie
kidney.
about this called The Island, like 20 years ago.
There's a ton of movies about it, but it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's called Insurance Policy. If I get my hands on that, I'll sell the shit out of that. Trying to think of what else that's an interesting topic that might. Okay, you're not much of a drinker anymore, are you? So let's dive into something that I can't wrap my brain around. We both know people that have addiction problems.
Yeah.
Explain to me. Okay, let me take that back. I've come to the conclusion that addiction is never cured; it's just transferred. Meaning, if you're a drug addict or an alcoholic or whatever, it doesn't go away. You just transfer it to something positive, whether it be AA with God or you become a gym rat or whatever. I just think that's how you handle it. Why do you think some people are prone to addiction and some aren't?
But I think everybody is. Everybody has their he's climbing on something. Everybody has their addiction. It's just different than somebody else's.
But what would mine be?
Yours is, I would say, you're addicted to not being the same. You're addicted to not messing up. Like
is that an addiction or is that just doing things the right way?
No, that's an addiction. Like, because if you think about it, for instance, our road trip. We're staying in a hotel. This is just the guys. You can have 1 or 2 shots and not go overboard with it and just chill. But if you were to do that, then you wouldn't have exactly
control.
So your addiction is control.
My addiction is control. That's fair. You know what? That might be the most apt. That might be the most intelligent thing anyone's ever told me. I mean, I could see that. Yeah, I don't like being. I would say control or less than. I don't want to be less than who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which and to me, I'm just like, I get it. Like, I wouldn't want to be.
There's a reason for it. If it makes sense, there's a reason for it.
What's that?
So this is going to be super deep, and we might not have enough time. In my brain, and I can't explain this. This is about what we talked about. We're bringing this all the way back around. That you're supposed to process grief, and you're supposed to talk to someone. Well, as someone who never processed my grief, I'm competing with a ghost. As someone who I saw do it better, longer, without got his ass kicked more. So now I feel like everything I do, I have to do better than how that person would have done it.
Yeah.
So that's what that is.
So, and see, that's where I'll say, like, we all have our addictions. Like, I don't think I ever really had an addiction to liquor as much as I had an addiction to not having to be angry. Yeah, not having to feel. So,
But isn't that, now I would wonder if that's the underlayment for almost all addicts. I think drug addicts and alcoholics just don't want to feel. I don't know if it's necessarily that specific thing. They just don't want to feel.
I think it depends, because some people chase the high, like, never done any drugs, don't have any issues as far as feeling go, but they get high the first time or drunk the first time, and they're like, that was awesome. Like, I felt amazing.
Yeah,
and then
that's
they
true.
Just chase it after that. Whereas other people are like, I've got to do this so I don't feel this way.
Yeah.
This is going to take me away from that.
And that's more my experience with addicts is the second one, not chasing the high, more of like, I don't want to feel this. Yeah. So I'm going to do this to not feel that.
Well,
all right.
This was a very deep one.
We brought it back all around, though. Came all the way back around. Men's mental health. It's the last episode of the month.
Yep. So.
All right. Well, I guess I'll close her out. I mean, I'm glad we're able to get back up and running. We got to bank a couple episodes for sure. We need to get on that. But I hope everyone listened. There really wasn't a whole lot of shit talking. It was more serious stuff. But in any case, this has been the Random Shit Talk Podcast. I'm Eric. He's Myric.
I'm Myric.
There you go.
Peace.
See you guys.